Hey everybody, welcome to Finding Out Tribe Presents Jedi in the Classroom with Fabian, Hofmann, Jamie, Halsey, and I am Scott Kazarian. This is part 2. We have a to be continued episode and we are there.
It's getting super complicated. Yeah. So this is episode 6, part
Back
2
to the Future.
It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so confused.
Oh, well, we're excited to jump in and talk more about boss battles. More about what it looks like in the digital classroom. And if you're a new gamifier and you're like, I'm not this deep yet, how can I apply boss battles to my classroom? So let's jump in. Let's start with, Jamie, let's just start with
me.
Jamie.
No, me.
All
me.
right, Fabian.
Always Jamie. Digital, come on.
Okay. Somebody needs some
I need attention. I
emotional
need to speak more. Since last time Jamie was like talking the whole time.
Yeah, sure. We have record of it. I'm pretty sure that's not how it went down.
Probably not.
All right. So digital, in this digital world we've lived in, you're just coming back to classes, but you've spent over 3/4 in the digital world.
Yes,
of classroom.
I still am.
So what does it look like, boss battles? How did you figure it out?
Yeah, so I'm still not happy with the way it goes. The only way that I found how to do digital boss battles and make it work in our environment now is by doing this version that I saw from Mariana Garcia Serrato. She has a blog teaching above the test, and she posted this thing, boss battles with Google Forms and Sheets. And last year when I was when we were transitioning, what I did was I used this mechanic or this boss battle not as an actual boss battle because I just wanted to test it. So for me, it was more like a penalty in a way, because they needed to escape from the Death Star. But they could escape from the Death Star if enough people would have done the work that I posted.
Okay. So your boss battle was almost like just a tester, and the goal was to escape the Death Star. Okay,
exactly. So it was more like, hey, does this work? Can I do this? And then the goal was not, we're going to defeat so-and-so, but it was, you got to escape from the Death Star.
So how did they get there? What did they do?
And so ideally what would have happened was they were captured on the Death Star. They had to do a bunch of work. And then we were still trying to figure out like, how does this whole distance learning work, right? And so I posted the work and I said, okay, 70% of you need to have this done. I had like maybe 40%.
So this is just typical day-to-day schoolwork, not tied to your theme, just like this is the work.
No, this was literally when the pandemic hit and we all had to stay home. I was completely like, oh, what do we do now? So my choice board was like random stuff, like go out for a walk, take a picture of this, or play games with your family, play board games with your family, because it was also new. We didn't know what to do.
Fourth quarter of 2020.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I had it themed because I built this idea of now they got captured because they're supposedly had a virus. And so in my story, that's what happened to them. They were captured on the Death Star and now they were supposed to escape, but they couldn't because they didn't do the work. Now I said, okay, so now you made it, you found the ship, escape from the Death Star. You need to do like this review, Google form of review stuff that we did. It was just like questions from what we did this year, and they had to answer these questions. If the whole class reached like a certain percentage in that review game, then they would escape from the Death Star. So that's the idea. And the way I did it, the way Mariana explains it, is that you have a Google form that the students fill out, and you modify the response sheet in such a way that it shows a picture of, in her example, it's a dinosaur that they're battling. Every time somebody answers a question correctly, there's like a dial and that changes, and then eventually the picture of that dinosaur changes from like getting tired, and then in the end there's like bones of the dinosaur because they defeated the boss. So that's like the idea that I took. And then I changed it to I created pictures of a ship escaping the Death Star. So I had like a tiny little picture of, like, if you see my Death Star, it was like super tiny, and it got bigger. And once they hit light speed, I saw like I showed the cockpit with light speed picture, and that means they would have escaped.
So this is more like a larger quarter long. I don't know if it's a boss battle as much as like a quarter long activity. What makes it a boss battle? That's my question.
Because you can use that, and I have used that now as an actual boss battle. So
a shorter kind of.
Well, like it's just in a digital form, right? So they're still all working together because I add the points that they get. So the ones that they answer correctly. So if they get 10 out of 10, then the boss gets deducted 10. I add this all up. So my boss is, so if I have 30 kids and I need them all to have 10 points in order to defeat him, so then the boss would have 300 health points or 280 health points.
Got it, yeah.
Right. So
and did you feel like they bought into that? How well do you think
so.
I mean, from a digital standpoint,
because they had that immediate feedback of they saw I posted the Google Sheet on my website or on Canvas, I don't remember, and that it would update like every minute, and they could see like how is it going, so they could check in and see, oh, did we defeat the boss or not?
Oh, like immediate feedback. All right, we all know that's an important key there.
Yeah, and so if they were done, they could see, hey, did this do anything? Maybe I was the one responsible for killing Boba Fett or getting rid of him or whatever. And so it was just a fun way of doing a boss battle. It's not what I love to do, because for me, it's like the haptic stuff, like rolling dice and all that is super important. But
haptical, yes.
Yeah, is that a word?
I use it. I've used it once. So I just used it just now.
But that's the best way that I could find in order to actually do a boss battle with them.
And then Jamie, you do something a little bit differently. You do like mini games. So you want to kind of jump in on Fabian, and then
I want to tag on Fabian though, because another resource for people out there is Jeremy Cedarquist. He also has a boss battle as well, but you're able to actually, I believe, use cards against the boss too. So he has some videos of things. It's definitely involved, but he kind of walks you through it. I'm terrible with Google Sheets, so I'm not brave enough for that, but maybe over the summer I can teach myself. But check him out because he has a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's really good with like the Google Sheet stuff.
Awesome. Okay. So Jamie, talk to us about mini games then. Jump on, go.
Okay.
Mini game on us and what you do.
Yeah. So mini games are basically, you can just take a regular old game, like for example, Operation is a great one. I happen to have an R2-D2 Operation, but you could use the regular game of Operation. And then if you have a review game, as kids answer the question right, they can come up and pull a piece out of Operation. And then they, and I believe in the game, there are different pieces. It assigns you a piece to pull out with.
That's right. Yeah.
So if the student pulls it out successfully, they keep that little piece, and then they start accumulating those cards. And then at the end, we add up all of those card points, and each team gets that amount of XP. So that's like a fun little twist. But it's just basically, I'm just asking review questions. And instead of just like saying yes or no, or they're playing like Jeopardy or something like that, it makes it a little bit more interesting pulling those pieces out.
What I like about those review games is that you have those groups, those teams where kids maybe didn't prep or whatever, but when they're really working well together, you have like somebody who's like super pumped to do the stuff where they take out let's say they're a master operation player, right? You would have those kids and they don't have to answer those questions because they can just be like, okay, I'm the guy who does this, right? Or the girl who does this. And it's like you have like these roles that the kids take on, which is really fun, I think. And that's what keeps them
Jamie,
engaged.
Let me ask you like a deeper dive. So yours is an R2-D2 one, and I know this for Fabian too, so he'll share out, I'm sure. But like, does it have to be Star Wars, or can you use like if you're me and you're kind of a Mod Podge of things, like can you just use normal Operation?
Yeah, you can actually, any game really. So another one that's really, really fun is oh my gosh, it's like Connect 4, but you bounce a ball into the Connect 4 thing.
Isn't it bounce off? I think it's what it's called. No,
I can't remember what it's called. Well, maybe we could put it in the
I'll Google it.
But it's really, really fun. And basically what happens is the kids answer, let's say I have them all working on a math problem. Let's say they're doing double digit multiplication. So their team's working on one, they get it right, they run up to, or they get their answer, they run up to me. If it's right, then they go and bounce the ball into the Connect Four. And then the first team that gets 4 in a row wins that round or whatever. So it's like a constant thing where everybody's playing, they're trying to solve these things, they're filling out they're working through the math problem, and then they're literally just going over and bouncing the ball. So again, not Star Wars at all, but and you don't even have to theme it that way, but I could use it, and it's a fun, energetic way to get the kids thinking and working together.
It's called
Fabian,
Bounce Off.
Bounce Off.
Bounce Off?
Yeah.
You've listed already a couple, I think, in our previous half-parter episode. So what are some of the ones you
So I do the same thing. I have again, this is just for review games. It's just spicing up. So it's not just Kahoot or Gimkit or whatever all the time. It's like these things that we can do to be different from other teachers, right? And so Bounce Off is a really good one, which you can use. You can just buy ping pong balls and egg cartons, and you can do that. You don't even have to pay for the game.
That's right on my alley. That's
all too, because you just want a piece of paper and try to make it into a basket.
Or that, so I have used the Spiky Dastards game. I have used Greedy Grandma, which is an amazing game. I love that. The simpler the game mechanics are, the better it is for these review games. So Greedy Grandma, the way it works is you have this grandma is like the plastic puppet, I guess. She's sitting on her chair and she's sleeping, and she has a tray of cookies, and you need to steal as many cookies as you can before she wakes up. Well, she wakes up by you, the player, you have to spin a dial, and then it says how many times you have to press a button. And the more you press the button, the sooner the grandma wakes up, essentially. So it's amazing because the kids, they freak out when the grandma wakes up. Literally, they jump up in the air because it's so loud. And they're so focused on getting that out, and
hopefully not getting. You did that with the teeth one too.
So Crocodoc, I think it's Crocodile or Dr. Crocodile, whatever it's called, Crocodoc. That is actually in Matera's book as a review game. So if you have his book, look it up. It's really fun. The pointing, the scoring system is a little bit complicated, so I'm not going to get into that because I can hardly remember it. But I did the idea. So what I did was I themed it. I found like a crocodile-looking monster in the Jedi universe and in the galaxy, and so that was the monster. But then, I the way I presented it was, so they saw like this creature on the projection, and then I had like a chair, like a bar stool, and I had the Crocodoc sitting there, but it was covered with a blanket with like a black cloth, and then I just pulled it off, and it's just immediately funny because it looks really cute. But I introduced it as like this menacing animal. But yeah, so it's just like a moment that you can create. And then they press the teeth. They answer questions, and they can press the teeth for as many times as they want. But eventually the mouth will close, and if it closes, they lose all their points and they have to do it again.
Well, and that one's fun because you literally have your finger in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Hitting a tooth, and then it hits you, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt, but it's scary. Yeah.
Yeah, and a good one for whether you're digital or in person is Mystery Box, and that's great one from. We got to do our weekly shout out to EMC2 Learning, but they have these. Awesome themed, right? These themed mystery boxes with mystery points or mystery icons behind them. And when students answer a question and they do it correctly, they can pick a box to open and see what's inside. Yeah. And you can add all kinds of fun mechanics to that.
So I like doing those kinds of things where it's like, mystery box that is like literally somebody created that, or you don't even need the actual HTML that they have on EMC2 Learning. Again, it's also in Matera's book. You can just like write it on the board or create like a slide or whatever. I've also used Danger Cards, is amazing. Students love that game. But I like using board games, like simple board games that the kids know, like Don't Break the Ice is a really fun one.
Jenga's fun.
Jenga, oh my God, I have so many Jenga things.
Something where there's an even playing field, and no matter who goes up, it could be anybody's game. It doesn't matter. You just anybody could be the winner.
Oh, I bought about an axe, like with the suction cups.
Yeah.
I bought that one. I've never used it in Classic because pandemic, but I bought it, and I created a target for it that I would project, and then they can throw it against the wall. And it's just.
I want to get. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It's just. It doesn't really matter. It's always a review. It's always multiple choice or whatever. But you just combine it with whatever simple game that you can find, and that just. From the review point, they're not going to think, oh, we're doing a quiz. They're thinking we're gonna get to play a game, guys. This is amazing, because that's what it is to them. It's just the only thing it does is it reviews, and it's just they are allowed to play. If they answer correctly, they're allowed to play, and that's what gets them.
All right, Jamie, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was going to kind of tag on to Fabian, and it doesn't even have to be a review game. It can be like an activity in class. So maybe let's take something really boring like grammar, like they're having to correct sentences.
What do you mean grammar is boring?
Yeah, whoa,
I love
grammar. Sorry, it is. And so maybe they have to fix problems so that, like DOL or whatever that you do in the morning, maybe they're having to find all the errors and they fix all the errors. They're working as a team on it, and then they bring it up. And if it's right, then they get a crack at whatever game you have. Like they get to pull a Jenga block, or maybe for each mistake they found, they get to pull so many Jenga blocks.
Yeah.
So again, like you can just take a normal activity, add a game to it, and then it just amps it up and makes it really fun.
Well, and let's transition to our final little bit then, because the big thing is, if I'm a new gamifier, which I am, and I don't have the whole theme, and I don't have the R2D2, and that's why I kind of asked that question earlier, like, how does a brand new gamifier do? I think you just spoke to this a little bit, Jamie. How does a new gamifier add this mini game boss battle kind of area into their classroom? Just pick something and go. What's your advice? Let's do advice time with Fabian and Jamie. Go ahead.
I think pick something and go is always good. Like just grab a game, see what happens. That's a lot of fun. I also think that if you look a little bit into some of John Meehan's work, he talks about small G gamification, meaning that you don't have to have an overarching theme. You can just have a theme for maybe that day or a theme for that unit. So that's maybe centered around a novel. Like, for example, we're reading a novel right now about the gold rush. So maybe all of your bosses and all of your games have something about like maybe collecting gold, or, not falling into the coyote hole, or, whatever it is that
defeating the prospector.
Yeah.
Yosemite Sam.
A shootout. I don't know. But anything like that. So it doesn't have to be like an overarching theme. It can be the theme for the day.
Yeah.
All right, Fabian, your turn. Advice.
I would just jump on that. Just use
what she said.
Yeah, what she said. Just I agree. No, but I'm sure if you have kids at home, you will have board games at home, most likely if they're old enough. Or just go to Target, see what's on sale, whatever. Get like a simple game, and then just instead of doing a Jeopardy or a Kahoot, go on Kahoot, go on quizzes, go whatever, get the questions, put them on a slide, and then instead of them answering it on the computer, just make it big, right? Have that board game
stand up and walk, the physical action, all that kind of stuff.
And that's literally all I do. Like, I don't come up with the questions usually. I just go on there, I download the questions, and then we'll take it from there. And it's a hoot. So,
yeah.
A Kahoot.
It's not a Kahoot, it's a hoot.
Awesome, everybody. Well, you made it through the two-parter of our boss battle, big B, boss battle, small B, little G, big. I don't know. I lost track of that whole grammar thing. I just can't get it. But we're glad you
grammar is
stopped by
fun, everyone,
and hung out with us today. And we're really glad that you're here. Tune in next time for our next episode of Funny I Tribe presents Jedi in the Classroom. We'll see you next time.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. See, I did it more dramatically at the end. To kind of,
I can do a if you want me to, I can do a Alec Guinness one.
Oh, I could do a Chewbacca one.
Use the Force, Luke. May the Force be with you. Yeah,
that was very good.
Thank you.
It was okay.
I have no voices. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Did we say bye already? I think we said bye.